Even when you can't trace him. Listen to what Job said. Job said in the same chapter 23, Job said, listen, I'm going through all this stuff and I claim I'm going through it for God. I said, I tried to get an audience with him. Said, I went to my left, I couldn't get hold of him. Said, I went to my right, I couldn't find him. I went forward, I went backwards, and I couldn't find him. And I said, oh, that I might find him. I might be able to make some sense out of what I'm going through. But I want to tell you, my brothers and sisters, one of the worst things that God could ever do is not to leave you, but to just be silent. Silent while you're suffering. Job said, said, what's driving me crazy is that I can't find him. And so I try to tell you that a good indication that God is still working on you, that God is not through with you, is that if what you went through, if that didn't take you out, I ought to have a testimony in here. If that didn't take you out, God is not through with you. And then I tried to tell you that what God begins in you, God will finish it. I want to tell you that God is not through with D.L. Motley. What he has began in him, he will finish it. Take that in your prayer closet tonight. What God has began in your pastor and in the Guilty Edge Church, God will finish it. Have I got a witness? But lastly, and then I'll go to my sheet. If you are a good indication that God is not through with you yet, is if you are still here. That's enough. If you are still here, that's the best indication that God is not through with you yet. Do I have a witness? I don't care what your enemies say. I don't care what the prophets of doom have declared on your life. I don't care how many people have got together in some little corner and said that you wasn't going to make it. I don't care how many people have got on the telephone and said that that's it. It's all over for you now. I don't care what kind of rumors they put out on you. It ain't over until the Lord said it's over. Can I get a witness? Yeah. And if they don't like it, when you come down to the church, you don't have to say nothing. All you got to do is just show up. Do I have a witness? Tell somebody I'm still here. Go tell somebody I'm still here. I've had cancer, but I'm still here. I've been locked up, but I'm still here. I've been on drugs, but I'm still here. I sold my body, but I'm still here. I've gone through a divorce, but I'm still here. I've had diabetes, I've had a stroke, but I'm still here. All you gotta do is just show up. And when you show up, that's your testimony all by itself. You ain't got to say nothing. Just walk down the aisle. And when they see you come in, the same ones that said it was all over, the same ones that said you wasn't going to come out, hey, can I get a witness? Well, I gotta go to my seat. But I want to encourage somebody before I sit down. The next time you're going through hard times, stop quitting all the time. Stop throwing in the towel. Hang on in there. Do I have a witness? Hang on in there. I'm going to my seat, but I want to tell you this story, and then I'll leave you alone. It was said that some years ago, this is a true story, y'all. It was said some years ago, there was a young couple that got married. And when they got married, they had 3 children back to back. And the children had gotten about 3 to 4 and 5 years old. She had a lump under her left breast. They sent her in for a biopsy. And to make a long story short, 3 weeks later, that young family gathered around the graveside of that young mother. And that father had 3 children to take care of. They was a young couple. They had just bought their first home. They had 2 automobile notes. And they had 3 young children. And the man took off some time from his job so that he could bond with his children. It was always the wife spending time with him. And after he had been off of work for over a month, he went back down to his job. And they said, Jim, we hate to tell you, but we got to let you go. Said, you've been off so long now. And Jim said, my God, said, I don't know what I'm going to do. Said, I'm a man of God, and I refuse to hook and crook. I refuse to do anything that is scandalous to pay my bills. Said, I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to take the high road. So he got up the next morning and went down to the job corps and said, I need to find me a job. And they said, we're sorry, son, that all of the positions are gone. Said, if you had gotten here a few moments later, we could have got you in the next crew. He said, don't worry about it. I'm going down to the employment office and file for unemployment. When he got down to the unemployment office, he found out that the whole state had run out of money. They said, you just missed it. We could have got you a job, and we don't know how long the waiting list is. It could be a month. It could be a week. We just don't know. But Jim tried to stay encouraged. He left the employment office and said, I'm going down to the Social Security office. He said, my mother and my father died a few years ago, and I'm going to go down and try to tap in to the benefits that mom and daddy left. But when he got down to the Social Security office, they told him, you got to wait so long before you can tap in to the Social Security. I wish I had some witnesses in here. Y'all act like you ain't never been your back up against the wall. He went down, he left the Social Security office. He said, well, I got 3 young children, and I need somebody to help me with these children. I went down to the United Way and said, is there any kind of way that y'all can give me some money to feed my children? They said, sir, all of our federal funds, all of our foundations are low on money, and we don't have anything that we can give you right now. He was staying encouraged. He walked over to the Salvation Army, said, I got 3 young children, and I got to get them into daycare. He said, do y'all have some clothes that I can put on their backs? They said, no, because your children are so small, we don't have clothes for little bitty children. Well, by this time, Jim was so discouraged. He said, I done tried everything. I'm trying to do the right thing, and every door I walk in is closed in my face. He said, I got one option left. He said, I'm going to go home. He said, because I got a life insurance policy, and they fixed it so now that if I kill myself, my children will get the money. He went home, sat at the kitchen table, put his revolver on the table, and was getting ready to take his life. But he said, wait a minute, before I pull the trigger, I want to make sure that I've done everything that I know how to do to provide for my children. Have I got a witness in here? He went back over his steps